Hey folks, welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that most men don't even realize they're trapped in until it's too late. The game of being strung along by a woman. We're going to break it down, make it simple, and I'm going to give you the exact signs to watch for, and most importantly, how to end it. Let's be honest. Some women won't tell you up front that they're not serious. Instead, they'll keep you around for attention, validation, free emotional support, or even just for their own entertainment. You think you're building something, but in reality, she's never fully committing. And while you're investing your time, energy, and emotions, she's weighing her options, texting other guys, or keeping you in her back pocket until something better comes along. Harsh, yes, but it's reality. Women get caught in this trap because they confuse attention for interest and mixed signals for genuine feelings. And in the modern dating world where everyone wants options and nobody wants to feel lonely, stringing someone along has become far too common. And men are often the biggest victims of it. The problem is, many of you are too focused on trying to win her over, instead of recognizing when you're being used. You end up playing a game where you don't even know you're losing until months or even years go by. That's why in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 clear signs that a woman is stringing you along, plus exactly what you need to do to put an end to it, reclaim your power, and stop wasting your time. Let's get into it. Number 1. She loves your attention, not you. One of the biggest signs a woman is stringing you along is simple. She loves your attention, not you, as a man. This is where a lot of guys get it completely wrong. You think because she's texting you back, liking your posts, or calling you late at night that she's interested in you. But pay close attention. Is she actually investing in you, or is she just feeding off the attention you give her? Women know the power of attention. For many of them, it's like fuel. Your compliments, your constant availability, your effort to check in, to plan dates, to always respond. All of that makes her feel validated and desired. She gets the ego boost without having to actually commit to anything serious. You're pouring into her emotionally, but she's giving you very little in return. That's not mutual interest. That's one-sided. And here's the cold truth most men don't want to face. She may never even intend to take things further with you. You're simply her attention guy. When she's bored, when other guys aren't texting her, or when she just wants to feel wanted, she reaches out to you. You become her emotional safety net. But the moment you try to move things forward, like asking her on a real date, having a serious conversation about where things are going, or making plans that require actual effort, she pulls back. She suddenly becomes busy, not ready, or just gives you vague excuses. You have to recognize when you're being used as an emotional crutch. A woman who's truly into you doesn't need to be entertained by your constant attention. She wants you, the man, not just the attention you provide. She will reciprocate, initiate, and invest without you having to chase or perform constantly. Men get trapped here because they confuse her responses with genuine effort. Just because she answers your texts doesn't mean she's serious. Real interest is shown in consistent action, not temporary attention spikes when she feels like it. If you find yourself always being the one who reaches out, who plans, who checks in while she simply responds when it's convenient, understand that she's feeding off your attention, not building anything real with you, and if you don't pull back, she'll keep you in that position for as long as you allow it. Number 2. Always too busy for plans. Let's talk about one of the most frustrating games women play when they're stringing you along, being too busy. You know how it goes. You reach out, you try to plan something, and there's always an excuse. She's got work, she's tired, something suddenly came up. And at first, you believe it. You tell yourself she's got a lot on her plate. You don't want to seem needy or impatient, so you stay cool about it. But deep down you feel that little nagging thought. If she really wanted to see you, wouldn't she find a way? That's where a lot of men get trapped. You start making excuses for her. You tell yourself it's temporary, that eventually things will calm down and she'll make time for you. But the truth is, this isn't about her schedule. It's about her interest level, because no one is too busy for someone they truly want. When a woman values you, she finds ways to make time even when life gets hectic. She looks forward to seeing you. She puts in effort, even if it's small. But when she's stringing you along, your time becomes optional. You're someone she keeps around for attention, but not someone she prioritizes. That's the harsh part a lot of guys don't want to admit to themselves. And the longer you stay patient, the more she realizes she doesn't have to put in any effort. You're already showing her that you'll be there no matter how little she gives back. She knows you'll keep trying, keep waiting, keep hoping for things to change. That puts all the power in her hands. She decides when or if you get any of her time. What makes it worse is that you start doubting yourself. You wonder if maybe you're asking for too much. You think being understanding will eventually win her over. But being overly patient doesn't make her want you more. It only teaches her that she can give you the bare minimum and you'll still stick around. At some point, you have to recognize the difference between a woman who's genuinely busy and one who's just not interested enough. When she's constantly too busy for you, it's not her schedule that's in the way. It's her lack of real desire. If you don't set a standard, you'll end up waiting forever for a woman who was never planning to give you her full attention in the first place. Number 3. Hot one day, cold the next. You ever been there? One day she's blowing up your phone, texting you good morning, sending cute selfies, laughing at every joke like you're the only man on earth. Then the next, nothing. No replies. No calls, just cold air. And you're left sitting there thinking, what happened? This isn't random. It's not a mood swing. It's not you screwing something up. This is a pattern. One designed to keep you confused and hooked. See, a woman who strings you along knows how to control the emotional thermostat. She turns the heat up just enough to make you feel wanted, then drops the temperature without warning. And what do? You chase. You overthink. You try to fix it. You fall into the trap. Every time she goes cold, it creates a void. And your natural instinct, fill it. Reach out, be sweet, be patient. Do something to bring back the warm version of her you saw before. But here's the truth, that warmth was never stable. It was bait. It's not about her being indecisive. It's about you being easy to control. When a woman runs hot and cold, she's not building a connection. She's running a loop, a reward-withdrawal cycle. Psychology 101. She gives just enough attention to spark dopamine in your brain. You get a rush, then she pulls away. You feel anxious. That anxiety drives you to do more. Say more, be more available. And right when you start to drift, boom, she hits you with a text, a compliment, or a soft voice note that makes you feel seen again. It's not love, it's leverage. Let me be clear. A woman who is genuinely into you doesn't leave you guessing every few days. Her interest stays steady, her words match her actions. She's not hot and cold, she's warm and real. But when you're stuck in this emotional roller coaster, something shifts in you. You start accepting less because you're addicted to the high of those brief moments when she's on. And the more inconsistent she gets, the more valuable her attention seems, simply because it's rare. This is how a lot of men lose their edge. You stop leading, you start reacting, you give up your standards just for another taste of the warmth that was never meant to last. Listen to me. The longer you stay in this loop, the more you forget what real connection looks like. You start to believe inconsistency is normal, that you should always be proving yourself. But that's not how a healthy dynamic works. That's how you get used. So what should you do? Simple. Stop reacting. Stop chasing. Match her energy with calm distance. If she turns cold, don't heat things back up. Step back. Observe. Let her feel the space. Let her wonder for once. Because here's the truth, the moment she realizes you're not chasing anymore, the power shifts. She'll either step up or fade away. Either way, you win, because you're no longer dancing to someone else's rhythm. You're walking your own path. Let's ground this in Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. That's your job here, to realize that her inconsistency is not your responsibility, but your response. That's where your power lives. Don't let her volatility dictate your value. You're not here to ride emotional waves. You're here to stand solid. And once you decide to stop tolerating this game, everything changes. You stop hoping she changes, and you start respecting yourself more. Because when a woman goes hot and cold, what she's really saying is this: you matter, but not enough. And as a man of value, that's never good enough. If this part hit home, write it in the comments right now. Say it, I felt that. Stay with me. What we talk about next may be the most brutally honest sign yet. It's the one most guys ignore, and it costs them more than they realize. Keep watching. Number 4. She avoids serious conversations. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever tried to bring up something meaningful with her and suddenly everything changed? You mention exclusivity and she changes the subject. You ask where things are going and she didn't hear the question. You try to talk about feelings, plans, or anything that requires vulnerability and boom, ghost mode. She's either too tired, too busy, or suddenly starts a fight over something completely unrelated. This isn't just bad timing. It's a strategy. When a woman consistently avoids serious conversations, that's not confusion. That's communication. She's telling you exactly what she wants, just not in words. And what she wants is no responsibility, no commitment, and no depth. Now listen, avoiding serious conversations doesn't always mean she's a bad person, but it does mean she's not on the same page as you. And if you're a man looking for something real, stability, partnership, clarity, this behavior is a giant red flag. Let's break it down. When someone truly values you, they don't run from clarity. They seek it. They want to know where things are going because they care about how you feel, because they want to build something solid. But if she avoids it, it usually means she wants the benefits of being close to you without the effort or emotional responsibility that comes with it. She wants attention. She wants validation. She wants that emotional high from feeling desired. But she doesn't want the weight of showing up when it matters. That's why the moment you bring up something like boundaries, future plans, or emotional needs, she deflects. She jokes. She dodges. She plays the "I don't want to ruin the vibe" card. And if you press a little harder, she might even make you feel guilty for bringing it up. She'll say things like, "Why can't we just enjoy the moment?" or "You're being too serious." Let me tell you something, man. Clarity isn't pressure. It's respect. And if someone twists your need for clarity into an accusation, they're not ready to give you what you deserve. This is how a lot of men get trapped. You don't want to seem needy, so you stay quiet. You convince yourself you're being patient. You tell yourself she'll open up when she's ready. But weeks go by then, months, and nothing changes. You're still guessing, still hoping, still unsure. Meanwhile, she's comfortable because she has all the benefits of a relationship without any of the commitment. Don't fall for that. As a man, it's your job to set the standard for the kind of connection you want, not by demanding, but by observing and responding. If she avoids serious conversations, consistently take that for what it is, avoidance of real connection. You don't need to argue, you just need to decide. Now here's where Stoicism comes in. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." And man, this hits hard in relationships. If you're spending your time trying to decode someone who avoids clarity, you're not just wasting your effort, you're wasting your life's most valuable resource, time. So, what do? You bring it up once. Calm, clear, without fear. You give her space to respond. And if she dances around it again, you don't push, you pivot. You begin to distance, not as punishment but as a message, that you value yourself enough not to beg for clarity. Because when you ask a real question and someone gives you anything but a real answer, that is your answer. And if this is resonating, let me say this. Don't wait until you've wasted a year to realize she never wanted anything real. Ask, listen, and act. And hey, if this kind of honest talk is exactly what you've needed, then do two things right now. First, subscribe to the channel, because you and we're building something here. A space where men think clearly, act with intention, and stop tolerating games. And second, if you want to go deeper with this mindset, consider becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive Stoic breakdowns, live sessions, and daily practices to sharpen your self-respect like a blade. If that sounds like something you've been missing, now's your chance. Hit subscribe, join the brotherhood. Leave a comment if you've been in this exact situation. Just say it, "I've seen this." And don't blink, because the next part shows you the final, most subtle manipulation women use when they're not serious. And it might be the one you're falling for without even knowing. Keep watching. Number 5. You're the backup option. This one's going to sting. You ever notice how she never really lets you go, but never fully chooses you either? She doesn't commit, she doesn't invest, but the moment you pull back, she reels you back in. A little text, a late night, "What are you doing?" Maybe even a sweet memory thrown your way, just enough to keep you thinking. Maybe she does care, but deep down something doesn't feel right. And that's because you're not her priority. You're her backup. Let that sink in. You're not the first call when something great happens. You're not the one she turns to when she's hurting. You're not the man she brags about to her friends. You're the one she keeps in the wings. Close enough to feel useful, but never close enough to feel chosen. And the worst part, she'll never say it out loud. Because she doesn't have to. Her actions speak for her. She's vague about the relationship. She's hot and cold. She disappears for days, then acts like nothing happened. She flirts with other guys, but gets defensive when you bring it up. She uses phrases like, "I'm just not ready," or "I'm figuring things out," while still accepting your time, your attention, your emotional labor. And you keep giving. Because you hope that one day she'll wake up and see what's in front of her. But let me be honest with you, man. She sees you just fine. She sees the attention, the consistency, the support. And she's using it for comfort, for ego, for options. You're the safety net. You're the just in case this other guy doesn't work out option. You're the guy who makes her feel secure while she chases chaos. And if that doesn't piss you off, it should. Now, I'm not saying she's evil. I'm saying she's undecided. And being someone's maybe is the fastest way to destroy your self-respect. Because every time you settle for being second choice, you train yourself to believe that's all you deserve. Let me tell you something you need to hear. Love isn't supposed to be vague. It's not supposed to feel like waiting for a table that never gets called. Real connection feels clear. It feels mutual. It feels like both people choose each other without conditions. So what should you do if you suspect you're the backup? First, stop explaining yourself. Stop trying to prove your worth. If she can't see it by now, she's not looking. And second, start pulling your energy back, quietly, consistently. No announcement, no drama, just a shift. Limit your availability. Stop showing up on demand. Let her feel the absence of what she's been taking for granted. And here's where Stoicism gives you an edge. Epictetus said, "Never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it. Your power comes from choosing you, not waiting to be chosen." When you detach from the need to be picked, you free yourself from the mental prison of waiting. And the irony, the moment you stop chasing her validation, she'll feel the difference. She'll wonder where your energy went. She might even chase it. But that's not the point. This isn't about revenge, it's about reclaiming your focus. You're not an option. You're not a second thought. You're not the man she comes back to after she's done exploring. You're the man who walks away from confusion and chooses clarity. So, if this message hits, don't just feel it, act on it. Walk like a man who knows his value. Speak like a man who doesn't explain himself to people who only keep him halfway. And most of all, decide that you will never again accept the role of backup in someone else's life story. If you've ever felt like someone's second choice, say it in the comments. I've been that man. Now, listen closely, because in the next part we break down the exact steps to end this game once and for all. You're going to learn how to reset the dynamic and flip the script so you never get played again. Don't go anywhere. Number 6. She wants benefits, no commitment. Let's not sugarcoat it. There's a type of dynamic that a lot of men find themselves trapped in, but nobody wants to admit it's happening. You're doing relationship things without a relationship. You're talking every day. You're emotionally available. You give advice. You listen to her drama. You check in on her when she's down. Sometimes there's even physical intimacy involved. But when you try to define what this is, she backs up. She says she doesn't want labels. She likes what you have, but doesn't want to ruin it by overthinking. That's code for she wants the benefits of a relationship with none of the responsibility. And if you've been there, you know exactly how exhausting it is. You give and give, hoping she'll see your consistency and eventually want more. But here's the uncomfortable truth: if someone is willing to take from you emotionally, physically, mentally, but unwilling to commit, that's not a connection, that's convenience. It's like she's running a relationship subscription where you're paying full price and she gets all the perks without ever signing the contract. Now, some guys stay in this dynamic because they think it's just a phase. They tell themselves, she just got out of something serious, or she needs time. But the longer you wait, the more invested you become, and the less incentive she has to change anything. Because why would she? She has your loyalty without giving you hers. She gets your time, your protection, your attention, all while keeping her freedom. And that freedom, that's where she explores other options. She might not say it, but you feel it. That tension in your gut, that feeling like you're giving more than you're getting, that's your intuition trying to scream over your denial. Don't ignore it. Here's where the mindset shift has to happen. You are not responsible for convincing someone to want something serious. That's not your job. Your job is to recognize when someone's actions don't match their words and to adjust accordingly. Because if she wanted more, she'd act like it. Commitment isn't confusing. When someone values you, they secure you. They don't keep you on the edge of maybe. Now, let's talk Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." And that applies here. Don't argue or beg for her to define things. You define yourself. You define your standard. And if she can't or won't rise to meet it, then let her go. You're not here to convince someone of your worth. You're here to live it, walk it, and protect it. So what do? When you realize she just wants the benefits, you stop giving them away. You put boundaries in place not out of anger, but out of clarity. You reduce access, you create distance, and you don't explain. You simply evolve. You don't ask her to change, you change the environment she's been coasting in. Because the truth is, people don't value what they get for free. And if you're constantly available without commitment, you're training her to expect everything for nothing. Let that sink in. This isn't about revenge. It's about alignment. Your energy is sacred. Your time, your attention, your body. That's not something to be handed out casually to someone who won't even give you basic clarity. And if you've been stuck in this no-strings fantasy hoping it'll turn real, it's time to wake up. Don't confuse access for intimacy. Don't mistake comfort for commitment. Don't call it connection if it only goes one way. If you've been in this exact situation, let me hear your voice in the comments. Say it, I've been there, and whatever you do, don't stop now, because in the final part we bring everything together. I'll show you how to take back control, reset the dynamic, and walk away with your dignity fully intact. Keep watching. Number 7. How to end it and walk away strong. All right. You've seen the signs. She runs hot and cold. She dodges serious talks. She wants your time, energy, maybe even your body, but never your heart. You've been giving more than you've been getting. And now you're here because you're done. So the question is, how do you end it and not just walk away, but walk away strong? Let's start with this. You don't need closure from her. That's the first trap most men fall into. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conversation, the perfect mutual understanding. Stop. Closure doesn't come from her explanation. It comes from your decision. You don't need a drawn-out "we need to talk." You don't need a text where you pour your soul out. What you need is clarity. You've seen the pattern. You've felt the weight. That's enough. Ending it strong means you take your energy back without begging, blaming, or breaking down. You don't make a scene. You don't seek sympathy. You just move. Here's what that actually looks like. First, you go quiet, not to punish her, but to protect yourself. You stop feeding the cycle. No more checking her story. No more responding to late-night texts. No more giving her your emotional availability on demand. You reclaim your presence. Then you shift your focus not just away from her, but back to you. You reconnect with your discipline, your purpose, your path. You start doing the things you put on pause while chasing someone who never really met you halfway. This isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming complete again. Because when you've been in a situation that drains you, that makes you feel like you're not enough, the best revenge isn't proving anything. It's becoming untouchable to that kind of energy ever again. Now, let's bring in some Stoic wisdom. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, decide the kind of man you want to be, and let that decision shape your next move. So who do you want to be? A man who lingers in uncertainty, or a man who walks away from anything that disrespects his worth? Walking away strong doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you feel it, and you keep walking anyway. It means you let the silence speak. You let your absence remind her of what she lost. And you let the space between you become a boundary she can't cross again. You want real power. It's not in the text you send, it's in the one you never send. It's in the energy she no longer has access to. It's in the peace you find the moment you stop needing her to understand. This is where your self-respect gets forged, not in comfort, but in choice. Every time you resist the urge to check on her, respond to her bait, or re-enter that cycle, you're building the strongest version of you. And one day, not far from now, you'll look back and wonder why you ever stayed so long in something so small. So here's your move. Walk away, not with bitterness, but with boundaries. Don't block her out of anger. Don't delete the memories to pretend they didn't exist. Just detach, calmly, cleanly, completely. Let her wonder. Let her scroll through your silence. And if she ever circles back, if she ever realizes what she lost, let your new standard speak louder than your past attachment. Because when a woman loses access to the version of you she took for granted, that's when the lesson hits. And no walking away doesn't mean you lost. It means you finally stopped settling. It means you're done being a maybe, a backup, a benefit without a bond. It means you're ready to start attracting people who choose you fully or not at all. So if this part hits home, say it in the comments, I'm done chasing. And whatever you do, don't miss what comes after this, because this isn't just about women or relationships. This is about how you handle everything that tries to pull you away from your purpose. And that next level, it starts now. Number 8. She flirts but never closes the gap. Let's talk about one of the most confusing traps men fall into. She laughs at your jokes. She touches your arm when she talks. She sends late-night selfies, makes playful innuendos, calls you babe or handsome in texts. She gives you just enough to stay hooked. You feel that electric pull like something's building. But here's the kicker. Nothing ever actually happens. You try to take it to the next level, ask her out, express real interest, lean in, and she suddenly changes tone. She'll say, "You're such a good friend," or "I'm not ready for anything serious right now." Sometimes she'll even act surprised, like you misunderstood her vibe completely. You didn't misunderstand anything. She flirts, constantly, but she never lets it cross into real connection. Why? Because that space between you, the one filled with tension, imagination, and almost is exactly where she wants you. Close enough to feel seen, but never close enough to be held. This is what we call emotional baiting. She knows what she's doing. Whether consciously or not, she's playing with chemistry to feel powerful, validated, desired. And the more attention you give her, the more she feeds off it without ever offering anything real in return. You're not the guy she's building with. You're the mirror she uses to remind herself she's still got it. And here's the problem: most guys feel that something is off, but they keep chasing. They think, maybe she's shy, or maybe she's just being careful. So they double down. They get sweeter, more patient, more available. They wait longer. But the gap never closes. You stay in that zone of limbo where everything is a tease and nothing is a promise. Let's break this down. Genuine connection moves forward. It builds. It deepens. It doesn't tease and stall. When someone's into you, you don't have to decode mixed signals. They make it clear with time, energy, and effort. But when someone keeps flirting without follow-through, it's not romance. It's theater, and you're the audience. This is where you have to check your own ego, because sometimes the fantasy of what could be feels more intoxicating than the reality of what is. You start to believe that maybe she's just guarded, or maybe she just needs more time, or maybe if you wait a little longer she'll finally open up. But you're not chasing a woman, you're chasing potential. And that's dangerous. Because potential doesn't hold you at night. Potential doesn't commit. Potential doesn't protect your heart, it plays with it. Here's where Stoicism hits hard. Seneca said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." And that's exactly what you're doing when you stay in this game. You're suffering over a future that doesn't exist. You're investing in a connection that only lives in your head. So what do? You stop reacting to the bait. You stop giving energy to the flirting that leads nowhere. You stop letting sexual tension be enough to justify emotional confusion. Instead, you draw a quiet line. If she's all spark but no substance, you remove the fuel. You stop validating her with attention that isn't being matched. You pull back not to manipulate her but to protect you, because you deserve a woman who shows up, not one who performs. You deserve to feel desired and chosen, not teased and tested. So next time she leans in with flirtatious eyes, ask yourself, is she building something real, or is she just feeding on your response? If this hit you right where it needed, to tell me in the comments I've felt this. And listen, don't go anywhere yet, because in the next part we'll break down the final test of self-worth, how to recognize when it's time to stop explaining yourself and just walk with your silence. Keep watching. Number 9. She loves the attention, not you. Let's cut straight through the noise. She replies fast when you compliment her. She lights up when you like her photos. She tells you she misses talking, but only after you've been silent for a few days. She plays sweet, maybe even affectionate, but the moment you stop feeding her attention, she disappears again. It feels personal, but it's not. She doesn't love you. She loves the way you make her feel. There's a big difference. See, in the world we live in today, attention is currency. And some women have learned to spend your attention like it's free credit. They don't want your love, your commitment, or even your time in full. What they really want is the energy boost that comes from knowing someone out there is craving them. And that someone, it's been you. You're her emotional coffee. A little pick-me-up when the day feels dull. She's not building with you, she's topping off her ego. And here's the worst part, she doesn't even need to try that hard. All it takes is a flirty post, a well-timed story, or a fake "I miss you" text, and you're back, giving her the reaction, the validation, the attention she was fishing for all along. You've become her personal supply. Let's be real, she doesn't ask about your day. She doesn't remember things that matter to you. She doesn't offer real support when you're struggling. But she always pops up when you pull back. Why? Because the moment you stop giving, she starts losing control. This isn't connection. It's consumption. Now maybe you think you're being kind. Maybe you think it's harmless. You tell yourself, I'm just being available. Maybe it'll lead to something real. But let me ask you this. When has it ever actually led to something deeper? If the only time she pays attention to you is when your attention benefits her, you're not in a relationship, you're in a loop. This is what Stoics call misalignment of values. You value connection, she values attention. And those two things don't lead to the same place. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." And in this case, her opinion of you, her flirty comments, her likes, her words, they're empty when they don't come with real understanding or effort. So what do? You stop being so available. You stop measuring your worth by how often she reaches out or how sweet she sounds when she's bored. You stop letting your self-esteem rise and fall based on whether she replies fast or leaves you on read. Instead, you get quiet. You start feeding your own fire. You reconnect with what makes you powerful, your direction, your discipline, your sense of self, outside her spotlight. Because the less you chase attention, the more you command respect. And here's the thing, when she realizes your world doesn't revolve around her anymore, she might push harder. Suddenly, she's interested. Suddenly, she misses you. But don't fall for it. That's just the machine reacting to the power being unplugged. Your silence is your boundary. Your disinterest is your strength. And when she can no longer use your attention to soothe her ego, that's when the truth shows up. If she values you, not just the attention, you'll see it. In consistency, in effort, in presence. But if all she valued was the spotlight, she'll vanish the moment it turns off. Don't take it personally. Take it as proof that you finally stopped feeding a fantasy. And if this part spoke directly to your experience, if you've been stuck giving more than you're getting, drop a comment, "I've felt this." And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Because in the final part of this series, we break down the mindset that keeps you unshakable no matter who walks in or out of your life. We're talking full emotional independence. Stay with me. Number 10. She's addicted to control, not connection. Let's talk about power. Not the healthy kind you build within, but the kind someone uses to keep you on a leash. If you've ever been with a woman who knows exactly when to give affection, when to pull away, and when to reappear just as you're moving on, then you've dealt with someone addicted to control. Not love, not intimacy. Control. She's not connecting. She's calculating. She knows when to go silent to make you anxious. She knows when to be soft to make you stay. Every compliment, every "I miss you," every breadcrumb is dropped with purpose. Not to grow with you, but to keep you where she wants you. Close, but not equal. Let's be clear, this isn't random behavior. It's emotional conditioning. The more she controls your emotions, the less effort she has to put in. If she can keep you guessing, doubting, hoping she wins, because control feels safer to her than connection. Connection means being vulnerable, being consistent, letting you in. But control, that's predictable, that's power, that's her comfort zone. And if you're not careful, you'll mistake her control for care. You'll think, she keeps coming back, so she must feel something. But returning isn't the same as investing. Texting isn't the same as showing up. Flirting isn't the same as commitment. What she wants is access to you, not intimacy with you. The control gives her a sense of worth. You chasing her, that feeds her ego. You checking in after she ghosts you, that confirms her grip. You trying to figure out what you did wrong, that's her proof you're still under her spell. And you're stuck walking on eggshells, afraid to say the wrong thing, afraid to pull away, afraid she'll vanish again. But here's the thing, a relationship rooted in control will always feel unstable. And that instability slowly chips away at your self-respect. One compromise at a time, one excuse at a time, one more chance at a time. That's not love, that's erosion. Let's anchor this in Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." And when you're dealing with someone addicted to control, calm is your weapon. You stop reacting. You stop explaining. You stop playing their game. You don't fight for attention. You don't chase clarity. You don't beg for balance. Instead, you step back and observe. Not out of coldness, but out of clarity. Because the truth is, when someone uses control as a substitute for connection, you'll always feel uncertain. And that uncertainty is not your fault, it's by design. So what do? You cut the cord, not dramatically but decisively. You stop being the puppet. You stop rewarding inconsistency. You let your silence speak louder than your explanations. You remove your energy from the cycle, and you place it where it belongs, on your mission, your purpose, your peace. Because the one thing someone addicted to control can't stand is losing it. And when you stop being a part of the system they've built to feed their insecurity, they'll try to reel you back in. Promises, apologies, new versions of the same old manipulation. Don't fall for it. You're not here to be managed. You're here to be met. You're not a follower in someone else's emotional game. You're the author of your own direction. And when you walk away from someone who confuses love with control, what you gain back is everything you gave up trying to keep the connection alive. Your time, your peace, your dignity. If this part just made something click in your head, comment it below. I'm done being controlled. And don't miss what comes next, because in the final section we shift focus, not on her but on you. The man you become after you stop chasing the wrong people and start standing fully in who you are. Stay locked in. We're almost there. If you've made it this far, one thing is clear. You're not just here to watch. You're here because you're done being confused, done settling, done playing a role in someone else's game. And that means you're ready to take back your power, not just in dating, but in how you carry yourself every damn day. So, if this video gave you something to think about, something to act on, hit that subscribe button right now. This channel isn't about hype. It's about clarity, strength, and becoming the kind of man who doesn't chase validation, he owns his value. And if you're ready to go deeper, join the Stoic Brotherhood. It's where we train mindset, discipline, and self-respect. Like muscle, not just talk. Practice. Thanks for showing up today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Same voice, new lesson. Keep showing up.